We are here today with Mr. Tim Mackin from FirstLight Home Care, York, Pennsylvania. Honored with Tim being one of our military veteran owners and his service to our country. Tim, again, thanks for being with us and taking time today to do this brief interview. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for giving me the opportunity to provide a little bit about my military background.
Yes, sir. Well, let's kind of start off, Tim. Tell us a bit more about your military background, as you mentioned, and how that maybe has taken you to the civilian side and franchise ownership.
Perfect, Jeff. What kind of started out was when I was a young 18-year-old and a recent high school graduate. I knew I wanted to challenge myself, and I also wanted to travel the world. What better way to accomplish both by having an opportunity to serve my country? I enlisted in the armed forces in July 1977. I spent the next 6 months in basic individual training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. After graduating, I received my first set of orders in duty station in Germany. My specialty was the Ordnance Corps as a vehicle mechanic, assigned to an air defense artillery unit in Mainz, Germany. Over the next 3 years, I gained tremendous experiences in areas such as leadership, diversity, time management, people skills, effective communications, and also had the opportunity to attend a non-commissioned officer's basic leadership course. After my first years, I rose from the rank from private to sergeant. My career took a dramatic turn once I returned to serve at Fort Knox, Kentucky. The Army was piloting a new tank called the M1 Abrams tank, and I was selected to work with the Army Corps Engineer Board to provide data analysis and specific major components as it relates to performance and failures. This data that would be instrumental in the Army choosing a manufacturer for future tanks. As we all know, that was General Dynamics, who made the first M1 Abrams tank. As the Army selected the General Dynamics, it gave me an opportunity to select a different military occupation, which led me to take a fast track on promotions. Within my first 8 years, I went from a private to a sergeant first class.
Wow.
During this time frame, I attended additional military schools, which provided me additional skills, such as managing multiple levels of non-commissioned officers and developing junior officers assigned to the unit. This experience allowed me to develop, mentor our junior officers and non-commissioned officers in areas such as time management, diversity, people skills, effective communications, for future assignments and promotions. After additional assignments to Fort Hood, Texas, and Germany, I was promoted to first sergeant, where I was responsible for over 250 enlisted soldiers and their families. I also spent a short stint in Kuwait as a de facto sergeant major in support of a logistics unit during Operation Enduring Freedom during the first Gulf War. This opportunity provided me with additional skills to manage, lead, and operate multiple logistics units in support of the wartime missions. The Armed Forces have such a wide diversity makeup that provides you with opportunity to work alongside all ethnical backgrounds. All the training experiences I had gained over the last 17 years, the last past 17 years, led me to become the Deputy Commandant of the Ordnance Non-Commissioned Officer Academy, which was located out of Aberdeen, Maryland. As I entered my 18th year of service, I was selected for the pinnacle position and the highest enlisted rank of Sergeant Major. Wow. As I look back on those 20 years, I see a young man that was ambitious to succeed and make a difference in his and others' lives to become the best leaders to serve our community and our country. Well, I also was able to enter into the academia world, where I completed both my bachelor and master's degree in business management. These skills, education, and experiences played an integral part of my due diligence in selecting a home care franchise. So that's just a little bit about my history in the military.
Yeah. Wow. That is impressive. I don't think I knew all that about you. That's pretty amazing. Deputy Commandant.
I actually was a de facto commandant there for a while as well, and that's kind of in the enlisted world, that's equivalent to a full-bird colonel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you like about owning your own franchise now?
What I like about owning my own franchise, Jeff, is it gives me an opportunity to serve my community. It also gives me an opportunity to serve my veterans in my community as well. As you know, I'm very passionate about taking care of my veterans here in York. Mm-hmm. It also gives me an opportunity to own my own business, and it also gives me an opportunity to give jobs to other folks and caregivers in our community that need a good place to work, and those individuals, they're vetted before we hire them to make sure that they meet our culture of care for First Light Home Care, and it's all about providing exceptional care.
Amen. Absolutely. So just thinking about coming out of the military, then Tim, and the kind of path you've been on so far, which is very successful. Anything you would do different, or in hindsight, advice for anybody who's coming out right now?
The one thing that I saw that stands out, kind of head and shoulders above anything else, that is, being a transplant into York County. The community here is very steadfast about where are you from. It was a kind of a disadvantage for me not knowing and not living here in the community. One of the very first things you get asked when you do a home assessment is where are you from, or what school did you attend, and that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the assessment. So that's one thing I would actually wished I had the ability to lived here, raised here, born here, raised here. Unfortunately, being in the service, as you're quite aware, about every 3 years, I was transitioning from location to location. So in retrospect, that's probably one thing that would took in consideration before I would have moved into owning my own business.
Okay. So it sounds like existing veterans coming out of the military, that's a clear message. Maybe stay where you are, stay where you're from, stay where you're familiar with, hometown, roots, ideally.
It gives you instant credibility in your community. People that already know you. It also gives you an opportunity to quickly establish relationships with your power partners or referral-based partners. When you start in a different community, a different state, it's you're starting from scratch.
Sure. You touched a little bit on providing care for veterans in your community. Talk a bit more about how you see that as a benefit as a FirstLight owner, please.
How I see that as a benefit as a FirstLight owner is this: we're making a difference in those veterans' lives every day. When you go into a veteran's home and you see that smile on that veteran's face to see you,
yeah,
and know that you're going to be there, and you're going to provide that level of care that they expect, and you exceed their expectations. What a gratifying feeling that is to ensure that the quality of care that our veterans are receiving is exceeding their expectation.
Yeah, amen. That's a huge plus. I agree. Just by being able to help more and more veterans through FirstLight. Well, Tim, thank you again very much. Appreciate all you do for FirstLight Home Care. Appreciate your service for our country, and appreciate your time today. Tim Mackin, York, Pennsylvania.
Jeff, thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you, Tim.
Take care.